Welcome everyone to part 3 of our tutorial. In this part we're actually going to start building our house. Now before we get started, go ahead, pause the video and take a moment to get your camera positioned kind of like this. So you can see all 3 axes. You can see the red, the green, and the blue, and the person's about that size because we want to make a decent size house for this person. Now we're going to start by making the base layout of the home. To do that, we are going to go over to our menu on the left, and we are going to select the rectangle tool. And by default, it's rectangle. We're going to make sure rectangle is selected. And we are going to make a rectangle and draw kind of part of the house. We're going to start it at the origin, and you'll notice when we go near there, it kind of clicks in place, and it says origin. Now we're going to click once, but you don't have to hold down and drag. I'm just going to click and let go. And now, as I move my mouse, you can see it's starting to make a rectangle. Down at the bottom right corner of the screen, you'll see the dimensions in feet and inches. Now you can actually type the dimensions if you want to, but for this project, it doesn't have to be exact. So let's start by making the front of the house, we'll say, about this big. So I'm at about 38 feet, 39 feet by about 46 feet. Well, let's make it a little bit smaller. Once you've got the rectangle about the size that you want, I'm going to move my camera a little more. You're going to click, and now you have a box. Now let's say you don't like the size of what you made. Oh, I want to extend one of the lines a little bit bigger in a direction. What you do is you go down to the menu here, and the fourth one from the bottom, if you click it out, it has these arrows that go in 4 different directions. That's your move tool. So I'm going to click that. And then if you hover over one of the lines, it will turn blue. And then if you click and hold that line, you can move the line out. Now this is one of the things you want to be careful in with SketchUp. If you move it, you can move it in all 3 dimensions. So I can move that way, but notice it will also shift and turn it and tilt it up. So you want to be very careful that you're moving it along the green axis. That's our flat point. So maybe I'll move it a little bit farther out. That little green dotted line tells me that I'm moving parallel to the green line, and that's what we want to do. It means we're moving nice and straight. Make sure it doesn't tilt or get off to the side. So you can use this tool if you want to extend the sides of your home out a little bit. Once you have it where you like it, zoom around. This looks, I might bring this top in a little. There we go. Once you have it where you like it, now we need to make this a 3-dimensional object. To do that, we'll go over to our menu of tools over on the left, and we're going to select the push-pull tool. When you click it, the icon turns into this. It's a red arrow pointing up. We're going to hover over what we just made. You'll notice it turns kind of a light blue color. When we click and hold and move my mouse up, now you can see I'm dragging that out and making it 3 dimensions. This is the main magic of SketchUp. This is the tool that you'll use a lot. So based on the size of my human, I want to make the ceiling a little bit taller than she is. We'll put our roof right about there, and then let go. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to do a little spin. Make sure the dimensions look right. If you want to push or pull one of the sides in and out of the house, you can just select the side using your push-pull tool. And look at that. We can easily resize the shape of this part of her house. If you really mess up and you want to put something back the way it was, just like most programs, there's an undo button. So you can use this undo button up here or redo button as many times as you want. Once you get the dimensions about how you like that, I'm going to push that in a little bit. We're going to go ahead and click Save. We want to click Save often and make sure this saves our progress. Now I'm going to show you how to make an adorable little roof for this house. Because just like most homes, we don't want to have a flat roof. We want to have it angled, almost like a triangle shape, so rain can run off each side. Now there are several ways to do this in SketchUp. I'm going to show you one of the ways. To make our roof, we're going to go over to the menu of tools, and we're going to select this line tool. It looks like a pencil. When you click line tool, there's a straight line and squiggle option. We definitely want the straight line tool. We do not want to freehand this. Now I want you to turn your camera so we're looking at our house from the side view. I have the green axis going that way, red axis going the other direction. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to one of the edges it will actually say endpoint when your pencil is right on the endpoint. And I'm going to click that endpoint and hold. And now it's allowing me to drag out a line. What I want to do is drag it out until it finds something called the midpoint. The dot will actually turn kind of blue. That's how we know we found the midpoint. And then what we want to do is we want to move our camera, find that midpoint, and we want to move this line up. Make sure you're not moving the line on the gray part of the house. We want to actually see it go above the horizon. You may have to move your camera a bit to do this. And let's make the roof about that high. I'm going to click again one time. And now I'm going to drag, just move the mouse. Again, you don't have to hold the button. And we're going to go to that other endpoint and click. And now it will have made a triangle that we can use for our house, for the roof of the house. And now we're going to use that push-pull tool and drag that roof out. So let's go to the push-pull. Let's go to this triangle, and now we're going to select the triangle. And again, you can move your camera, adjust your camera, however it makes sense for you. And as I click and pull that, we are going to drag this roof all the way out across the house. I'm going to stop right on the edge. Now if we spin the camera, we can see we've just made what is starting to look like a house. One more thing to clean it up. Actually, it looks good. That line wasn't there. Okay, so we have here the beginnings of a house.